Hi lovely people, my name is Akorede Adenike. You are welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time of you checking on my channel, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for you to be notified each time I make a new video. In today's tutorial, I would like to teach you how to cut simple peplum top. You can wear it as casual, you can even wear it to your office. Let's get to it. This is the fabric I'm using and these are my tools. As for the peplum top, I'm cutting the upper part first. Here is my fabric folded into. So I'm using the biggest part of my upper part to cut out the upper part, which is 38. My bust is 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. Here's my fabric for the upper part. I folded it into two like this. Here is for the back. This is the zipper allowance, which is 1.5. If you are adding lining, please make it 2 inches. So here is for the front. I'll fold it into two like this, and I'm going to place it on it like this. Here is my zipper allowance. So from my shoulder to my half length is 16 inches, and I'm adding 1 inch to it to make it 17. Half for the joining of the peplum and half for the shoulder for the joining of all. This place now indicates my shoulder. From my shoulder line, I'm going to get my half length. My half length is 16 plus 1 inch because I'm going to use half to join it with the peplum here, and I'm going to use half to join the shoulder together. So from the shoulder now, I'm going to measure half of my round armhole, which is my chest line. My round armhole is 18 inches divided by 2 is 9 inches plus half inch for joining of shoulder. That will make it 9.5. From the shoulder now to my bust point. My bust point is 10 inches plus half inch seam allowance. That will make it 10.5. From my shoulder to my waist is 16. Here is it. Plus that 1 inch that I told you before. Half for the joining of with the peplum and half for the joining of the shoulder. So let me make it a straight line. Going to extend it. If you are a beginner, please always pin down your fabric. On my shoulder line here, I'm going to measure half of my shoulder. My back is half of my back, sorry. My back is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5 plus half inch seam allowance. That'll make it 8 inches. Here is it here. My neck width is 3.5 from the center front here. Then my neck depth will be 5 inches. I'm going to connect it. Then the back width will be 1.5. Is it here? Going to connect it. If you don't have a curve ruler, you can use your free hand. So on my chest line here, let me make it visible very well. On my chest line, I'm going to input half of my back measurement. My back is 15 inches divided by 2 is 7.5 plus half inch seam allowance. So I'll connect it. To get my armhole now, I'm going to come down here by half inch to draw my slant, my shoulder slant. So measure what is here from here to this place. It remains 8.5, and I'm going to find the middle of it. Just fold your tape measure like this and mark it like this to get your front armhole. On this line, come in by 0.75, then place your curve roller like this and roll it out. So the back armhole, no need to come in, just place it and draw it out like this. This is my back armhole and this is my front armhole. So on my chest line here, I'm going to input quarter of my bust. My bust is 38 divided by 4 is 9.5 plus half inch is, that is 10 inches. So on my waist is 34 divided by 4, that is 8.5 plus 1 inch for that is 9.5. Here's it here. I'm going to add 1.5 for seam allowance. 1.5 for seam allowance. I'm going to connect it. As you can see, it's very simple. And I'm going to cut it out. Cut the back first, please. The back armhole. Neck. And now separate it to like this. Then this is my waist for the back. To avoid zip bug on this place now, on my waist here, I have to come in by half inch. Or better still, you can come up here by 1 inch, then now slant it like this. Slant it like this. Or coming by half inch. Then as for this, you can slant it like this. Whichever way you want it, but let me make use of this. That's just it for the back. So let me complete cutting the front. So this is it for the front. As you can see, that will be here. So here's it for the back. Let's move on to the peplum. Now to get the peplum, I'm using my waist circumference. My waist circumference is 34. I'm going to add 3 inches for zipper allowance that I use for my upper parts. I'm going to add that 3 inches to it. That will make it 37. I'm going to divide that 37 by 6.28. That will give me 5.8. And I need the length of 8 inches because the full length of my blouse is 24. And I've already get 16 inches. And I'll now minus that 16 inches from that 24. The remaining one will be 8 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. That will make it 9. So I'll now add that 5.8 with that 9 inches. That will give me 14. So I folded the fabric into 4. Here's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is my wrong side. So I'm going to measure that 14.8. I've already checked the fabric. It can be enough for me. So that 14.8, I'm going to measure it out like this round. So I'm going to connect it round. Connect it round like this. So here now, I'm going to measure that 5.8 out. Make sure you get your measurements right, please. From this point, measure your 5.8 out. And I'm going to connect it. So I'll now cut it. So here's my peplum. There is it. I'm going to open one side. So I'll also notch the center here. So now let's move on to the sewing. I'm cutting facing for it. So facing for the front and facing for the back. So I'm cutting the facing for the front first. So I'm going to fold my fabric like this. Just fold it like this. Make sure you fold enough for it. And put your front and fold like this. So I'm going to place it like this. I'm going to chalk it out at the neck here. Going to chalk it out like this. So I'll now shape it like this. If you are not good at this, you can measure it out. Shape it like this, and I'm going to cut it out. So shoulder slants. Here is it for the front. Where is it? So as for the back facing, fold the fabric like this. Take one piece from the back part and place it on it like this. And chalk the neck area, chalk it out like this. Shoulder slant or shoulder slope. Then just draw it out like this. I'll now cut it out. So I'll now cut it into two. So one for this, you place it like this, and one for the second one. So let me start the sewing from the front. For this one now, for the facing now, I'm going to fold it and stitch it like this. I'm going to fold it. You can double fold it if you want, but I'm folding it once. So before folding, you can notch it round a little for it to be easier for you while sewing it. So I'm going to fold it once like this, but before folding it once, I'm going to overlock the edges like this. So I'll now fold it once and stitch it like this. It will be like this. After that, I'll now place it on the right side of my front like this. I'll let the right side face each other like this, and I'll now sew the neckline with 1/2 inch. So as for the back, I'm going to place it like this. Here is it. I'm going to do as I do on the front. Notch it a little, fold it once and stitch on it. After stitching, you now place it on it like this. The right side will face the right side of the body. So now stitch with 1/2 inch each other, and this is the front. I fold it into two again. I'll place it on it like this. From my shoulder here, I'm going to measure my bust point is 10.5. Here is it. I'll just add 2 inches to it. This is where I'm starting my dart. My nipple to nipple is 7 inches. Divided by 2 is 3.5 plus 1/2 inch is plus 1/2 inch seam allowance. Sorry. Here's it. And I'm going to measure that 4 inches on this place too, on the waistline. Here is my center front. I'm going to connect it like this. Here now, I'll measure 1/2 inch on both sides for my dart. I'm going to connect it like this slantly. So I'm going to hold it like this to make it reflect on the other side of the front. So that's just it for the front. As for the back, my chest line is 9.5 from the shoulder. Here is it. So let me extend the line. So my nipple to nipple from this line is 3.5 plus 1/2 inch seam allowance. That's 4 inches. I'm going to connect it like this, and from my chest line here, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. This is where I'm starting my dart for the back, and on the waistline, I'm going to come in by 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'm going to connect it slantly like this on both sides. So I'll hold it like this to let it reflect on the second side of the back. So I'll go to my machine now and fold it like this. So I'll now sew from here down to this place. This place will be 1/2 inch, but this place will be tiny. I'll sew it slantly like this down to the waist. So I'm going to do the same thing on the second side of back. And as for the front, I'm going to open like this and sew like this, hold it like this. I'm going to sew from here down to this place. I'm going to hold the second side. So now I've finished sewing the darts and the neckline. I'm going to notch the neckline like this. Don't let it touch the sewing, please. I'll do the same thing on the back part. So here's the back too. I've finished sewing the darts and I'm going to notch it on the neckline like this. After that, I'll iron it. Now I've finished with the ironing. This is the back. Look how beautiful and neat it is. And here is the front. I've ironed it. Look how beautiful and neat it is as well. So I'll now join the shoulder by placing the back on the front. Here is the front right side and this is the back. I'm going to place it on it like this for joining of the shoulder. I'm going to hold it. Here is the front. I'm going to open the back like this and put the front in like this and fold it like this. So I'll now go and sew on it with 1/2 inch. I'll do the same thing on the second shoulder. Now I finished joining the shoulder. Here's it. Here's the two shoulders. So I'll now place it on each other like this. Place it very well like this. Place the second one like this too. I'll now go and stitch. I'll go and sew the side seam. I'm going to sew the side seam like this with 1.5. You know, I added 1.5 for my side seam. So I'm going to measure 1.5 all through. Here's it. On my waist too. I'm going to measure it like this and I'm going to join it. So now I've finished joining the side seam. So I will not join it with the peplum now. So we fold it like this to notch the center. There is it now. I've notched the center. I will now place my peplum. I'll find the center of the peplum, so I'll place it like this and sew it all around with 1/2 inch. Now I've finished joining the peplum with the upper part of the top. Here is it. Look how beautiful and neat it is. So I'll now go and finish the edge of the peplum, the bottom here. I'll go and finish it with the bias tape. I'm going to place it like this. I'm going to open the bias like this. I'll open it like this and I'm going to place it like this. I'm going to stitch it with 1/4 inch all round before folding it in like this and top stitch on it. I have finished the edge of the peplum, the bottom here. I finish it up with the bias tape. Here is it. Look how neat and beautiful it is. So I'll now move on to the sleeve. Here is the sleeve I'm using. I've already cut it out. Here is the basic sleeve. I have a video on how to cut it, so I'm going to put the link in the box below. So here is my sleeve now. I'm going to hem the bottom first. I'm going to fold it with 1.5. So I'll now stitch on it like this. I'm going to fold it like this and stitch. I'm going to do the same thing on the second. Now I've hemmed the bottom of the sleeve with 1.5 and I will now fold it like this. I'll fold it like this and stitch here. Close it up here with 1.5 because with 1 inch, sorry, because I added 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'm going to do the same thing on the second sleeve. Fold it like this, then stitch it with 1 inch from here down to the bottom. Now I've finished with the sleeve. Here is it. Here is the right side of it. As you can see, it's nice and beautiful. Here is it. So I'm going to, before joining it to the body, I'm going to notch the center here. I'm going to notch the second one too. So Here is the body, the top. So I will now place it like this. Here is the front of the top. Here is my sleeve. Here is the front armhole. I'm going to place it like this for me not to make a mistake before joining it to the body. Here is it. Yeah, this one is for this and this is for this. So I will now take my sleeve, open it like this, fold this one in like this, fold it twice, and here's the top. I'm going to let this place match with this, with the armpits. I'm going to sew it all around with 1/2 inch. I'm going to do the same thing on the second sleeve. Now I'm done with the sleeve. I've fixed both sleeves. After that, I will fix the zipper on the back here. After fixing the zipper, I'm going to give it nice ironing and put it on for you to see the finishing look of it. That's how to cut and sew simple peplum top. Guys, if you find my tutorial helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to support my channel. You can join me on my Facebook group. If you have any question or any style you want us to talk about, join me on my Facebook group. Details to sewing created by Akorede Adenike. I'm on Twitter at Akorede Adenike, and I'm also on Instagram at Akorede Adenike. Till I see you in my next video, stay blessed. Bye bye.